the topic of the discussion and hit the issues you typically find reluctant. Remove the facade to fill the gap with some substance. We undermining problems, expecting to overcome it. Please hold the applause. We doing it for the cause. People follow culture before they follow the laws. We rather face the friction and not attempt it at all. Persistence will find solutions once our contentment dissolves. There's a hard pill to swallow for anyone breathing, both for folks who stay woke and those who be dreaming. We ain't slaves, yet we still ain't experienced freedom. What we need is the keys to access the kingdom. We're all in this fallen world trying to stay intact. I'm just a beggar, point you out to where the bread is at. So follow the breadcrumbs like Hansel and Gretel, and thank Yogi Bear and the thought engineer for that on Man Talk Monday. It's Man Talk Monday. Woo!
Hey, what's going on, good people? Welcome back to Man Talk Mondays. We're back once again with another hot one for you. I'm Derek the Thought Engineer, here with my man, comedian John Yogi.
Man, I want to say R.I.P. to Monet Tejada. Monet Tejada, I want to say R.I.P. You went out like a soldier. I want to say R.I.P.
Monet love the kids.
Monet love the kids. If they were trying to kill her, she was trying to kill him.
Oh, man.
She went out like a soldier, man.
Oh, man.
I can't.
Spoiler
That's
alert.
spoiler, is it?
Yeah.
I thought everybody seen it.
You would think.
It's all over Facebook.
It is. People don't care. Right? They don't care at all. Right? So, we're going to hop into what we got, but let me tell everybody, remind you, this is Man Talk Mondays. It's an open forum where we give you the rational realities of relationships, but of course, we're doing it from a man's perspective. Keep in mind, this is not just for men. We want everybody to join in. How you do this, go into the comment section, leave your comment, leave your question. We can see it, and this is how you talk to us. So we're trying to help men build better lives, one conversation at a time. One at a time. All right. So that's what we're doing tonight. You know, we've been on our whole financial thing. We talked about first, I'm getting old and I'm scared.
Get your money right.
Right, because ain't nothing like being broke and old.
And broke and old, yes.
Old and broke.
And limp.
Living around in summer, boy. Ain't nothing like it.
Ain't nothing like that.
Nothing like it. Nothing like it.
You might well play in the middle of 75.
Right. But we had some good conversation. We had young man, Mr. Lawrence Brown, joined us. And outstanding. He dropped some financial nuggets, gave us some tools that you can use. And then we brought in Jesse Townsend. Jesse Townsend, a man, had experience with this himself, right? So you heard it from a man who has walked down that path and came out on the other side victorious.
Didn't start till he was 40.
Yeah. 43, I think he said. 43.
Yeah.
43. So, let you know, it's not too late for you. It's not too late for you. So, what we want to do now, we just want to kind of unpack some of the stuff. There was a lot of stuff we shared. We want to kind of unpack some of that tonight. So, we're talking about tonight, what's your excuse now? What's your excuse now? All right. This is our wrap up for the financial fears that we kind of talked about. Mr. Mikhail, Man Talk Monday. Yes, sir. Appreciate you, man. Appreciate you.
Good.
Appreciate you. So we spent the past few weeks. What was one big takeaway personally that you would say you had?
Let me see. The books. You know, no. The biggest takeaway from me so far, man, was the relationship that the young guy had with his dad.
That was,
when he came, I think he said he was 32, and I was really, because you don't often hear young men talk about their dads like that. They don't talk about their moms. but he was really he was talking about how dad turned on to it at 14, and how it changed his life.
Yeah,
and man, I was
14.
Yeah,
man.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely.
Could you imagine having that type of mind, or at least being introduced at 14?
But see, now this is the thing. Because I wasn't introduced to it, but I've been looking for it since I was about I want to say since I got about 18, 19, I've been looking for this.
Oh wow.
I was looking. So I want to say when I got married when I was 20. I was 21, 22.
Oh man.
22.
Babies.
And I was looking for it.
Yeah.
I was looking for that, and I kept trying to find it in different people, man. I couldn't, I couldn't find it in anybody.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's amazing. You say that it's amazing how even our circles, our families, even to some of our communities, our surroundings, how they just don't know.
Don't know, man.
Right? You got to get in the right environment.
Yeah.
Right? That means probably get around some people that you're not used to being around. Right? You got to get in some uncommon circles sometimes to get some uncommon information. Uncommon circles, uncommon information. So you get what you need.
I remember Carlton Sheets had a program about buying stock, but it wasn't stock. It was your peanuts, your fruit, your bananas. He had
I forgot what they call it. It's not livestock. It's not. Is it not futures? It's commodities. Commodities.
He had a course, and I remember trying to talk to somebody about, hey man, I'm thinking about buying this course and this, and they kind of talked me out of it.
Oh wow,
man, because they didn't know anything about it, so they just kind of talked me out of it.
It seemed like I heard something that said, "Be careful of sharing big ideas with small-minded people," or something like that.
Yeah.
Right? Can your circle handle the things that you're trying to do, or do you suppress the things that you really want to do just so you can stay in your little circle?
Take a look at your circle right now.
Because and that's important. Being around the right people is important.
Yes,
some of you gotta go, you gotta leave. You gotta leave your circle, leave what's familiar, and get around some people who it's common for them. Right? It's gonna be uncomfortable at first and all of that, but it's necessary. It's absolutely necessary. Right? Cheryl says, surround yourself with people who are doing what you want to do. We had to learn on the fly until we met those type of people.
You better say that, and you slide me your number too. You better say that.
You flirt with me when That's his wife, y'all. That's his wife. Let's go keep it real. That's his wife. That's his wife. So we're talking about what's your excuse. So what's some common excuses when it comes to taking that step and getting into your financial, I don't know what's the word called, mess.
Well, dealing with the decision that you made financially. And I know it can be a lot to take on. It can be scary. It can be everything you can imagine. Mm-hmm. But remember, you can only get out of it one step at a time.
So what about people who say, man, you know what? I don't know. It's too late. I've done too much. I don't know if there's no coming back from this.
Man, that's sometimes I don't really like being a comedian because I think about that's not really a pro.
That's your job, man. Do your job, man.
Okay, so unless you the Kim Debate Matumbo, then it ain't too late.
No.
If you still breathing, if you still walking around here breathing. See,
I didn't know what I was asking for. I'm sorry. I'm apologizing to y'all. I'm sorry. I didn't know what I was asking for.
Listen, if you ain't Pete Rose,
come on,
Chris
man.
Christopherson, you got time.
Oh my goodness.
I'm simply saying,
you
got time.
I get you.
You got time because they don't have no excuse. They don't have excuse no more. They don't have time, but you have time.
Yeah, long as there is breath.
Yes,
in your body.
You got time. Yes.
Right. And when you standing on the front side of the problem, it looks way bigger. And a lot of times, because you hadn't sat down with the numbers, it's frightening. It is frightening. It can be very intimidating when you don't sit down with the numbers, because in your mind, you're already telling yourself, man, I know it's bad. Man, I know it's bad. But what if you sit down and it's not as bad as you thought previously?
See, it ain't. This how you know it ain't as bad. If you can look out the window and see your car still sitting out there, then it ain't as bad as you're like. Because I remember having to hide cars and hey, can you keep my car over in your garage?
Oh wow!
I remember one Sunday we was going to church.
Yeah.
And I had parked my car in one place, and my car had been gone so long, somebody else had parked there.
He said, "Hold up, I know,
devil."
You said it was in church?
No, we was at home, care of our apartment. The finances wasn't exactly intact.
Now, we joke about stuff like that, and it seems funny, but if you are in your 40s and 50s and you still doing things like that, like having to hide your cars and stuff like that, man, that's a bad place to be in. I mean, and let's be honest about it.
Well, but you know why? You know why people think it's so bad? It's because you are vastly approaching the age where you can't work like you do when you're young.
Oh, yeah.
So you drag, and I don't know what's going on. Is it the party in here that I don't? Excuse me, ladies. Is there a party going on already?
Producer get on you, boy. She about to get on you, boy.
So, but I think people think they run out of time, and so what you're doing, you're carrying that baggage into your later years. So now you have to work way long. Listen, let me tell you something. There is nothing more disappointing than an older person working and they're miserable doing it. Because they're gonna let you know they hating life, and they're gonna let you know they hating life.
Yeah.
And now they're finna make you hate your life because they're gonna be so bad at what they're doing. They complain, they just, nobody wants that, man.
No, they don't. You don't want that. And so procrastination is a huge issue.
Yes, absolutely.
It's a huge issue. I remember hearing, I think it was Myron Golden, he said, you don't have a procrastination issue, is you simply don't think it's going to work. He said the opposite of anxiety is anticipation. Anticipation is Christmas Eve, you a kid Christmas Eve, and you want to, you know what I'm saying, the anticipation, you can't even sleep because you're so excited wanting to get up the next day so you can unwrap gifts. That's anticipation, right? If somebody told you that soon as you got started, it wasn't going to take long, or if you wrote a book, you know what I'm saying, as soon as you write that book, it's going to sell a million copies, you go ahead and write the book.
Well, they don't, I don't know if they would.
If you knew, because the whole thing is you feeling like it's not going to work, so you hesitate in taking action. Okay. And so that's where the procrastination comes in. So you're looking at your financial situation and you might be feeling like, man, what's the use? Too much has happened. I've done too much, all this type of stuff. And so that's going to cause you to not take action or to hesitate in taking action because you feel defeated already. And that defeated mindset sets you back.
But there's nothing like feeling defeated, man, and then making a choice and, hey, listen, we better than this. You are not your situation. You don't have to, which means you don't have to stay in it. You don't have to stay in that particular situation. You are better than that. You are better than that. You are better than that spam that you eat with cheese on it. If you're better than that, dude. And I think sometimes we get too caught up in the world we are, and we just settle into it.
Yeah.
I remember Pastor Sam saying he said his sister was with a guy, and the guy got really comfortable with doing bad. And his sister was like, "Oh, I think I'm gonna go back home."
See, that things were bad, and he was sitting down, like on the couch in the floor, eating a bowl of cereal, watching TV like it wasn't no issue, with no problem. She was like, "I gotta get out of here." He ain't even feeling this. He ain't bothering him at all. So, some of you, I mean, does it bother you? Y'all let us know. Does it bother you when you have a huge financial situation staring you in your face? By whatever reason, you know what I'm saying? Well, however it came, because maybe mistakes you made and things of that nature, you now starting to wake up to it. How do you feel when you say you start to look at it? You make the decision, you're going to take a look at it. What is the feelings that hit you? What are the feelings that hit you?
That'd be stressful. It has to be stressful out.
Right. Cheryl says, we had to take down that mountain one chip at a time. Staring at it can be overwhelming, but we put our heads down and got to work. Right? They say what? How do you eat an elephant?
One bite at a time.
One bite at a time. What did Les Brown? What did he say? Yard by yard, anything looks hard, but inch by inch, anything's a cinch.
I remember he also said, he talked about his mama, and the lady said,
Oh man, that was bad. That was bad. Les Brown told a story about his mom used to work for these rich people, and she was the cleaning lady to come in and clean. And the woman who owned the house would make his mama
jump up and down,
clap her hands
yes,
when she was in a room where she wasn't,
but she couldn't see us.
just to make sure she wasn't stealing nothing.
Yeah.
So when she was in another room, she would have to walk around clapping her hands so the woman.
Yeah, and
That's pretty bad.
He was there, and he was like,
Man, but you know that sticks
God,
with you.
yeah, that's God. That's God. Man, I remember that story because he was so. I was like, dude, I'm not reading the book for that. But it's one of the things it's one of the things that jumped out at you.
And maybe for you, it's been, that was the way things were, type situation. And growing up as a kid, you kind of noticed some things, but it didn't really hit you till you got older. And then now you starting to feel like, but I don't want that. That's not what I want for my life. That's not what I want for my kids, my kids' kids. And here you are, you the one that feel like you got to turn it around. Is that overwhelming, or do you feel encouraged now?
I think one of the things that we might have did mistakenly is we made this a man thing. And I want to just invite women. I just want to say women as well. Hey man, financial empowerment is not a gender thing.
No.
Just like being broke. Being broke is not a gender thing. Be broke is a stomach thing. I'm on one of that.
Your refrigerator empty. You ain't fast.
Oh my God, you just hungry. When you open that boy, bad boy, you got a jug of water in there?
Oh,
come
not
on,
a jug
man.
of water.
A jug of water, half. That's half filled. And we simply saying it don't have to be that way.
No. So we hoping something was shared during the past 2 weeks that we had Lawrence Brown and Jesse Townsend on, that kind of sparked something for you, right? When was the first time you realized that you were poor?
Oh, boy, this
when was the first time? Y'all let us know. When was the first time you realized you were poor? If that was your situation coming up, you know what I'm saying?
We don't want Cheryl. We don't want Cheryl.
Oh no. We ain't gonna have no pull off up in here. Listen. Man, your wife got some stories. Boy, you put a violin into that, everybody crying. I'm telling you. Everybody.
We don't want Cheryl.
Ain't no poor, that was poor.
Take her phone.
Go throw one in the chat, Cheryl. Those people. Well, I can tell you.
No.
I can tell you for me. I remember, y'all know at Christmas time, churches try to do something nice for families in need and all of this. And there used to be this box, this church I used to go to as a kid. There's this box where they used to put non-perishable items, right? You got your macaroni, in the box. You got your canned goods, your beans, and all that type of stuff. Anything non-perishable, all in that box, right? Had the box all decorated with Christmas wrapping and all this type of stuff. And I see the box, you know what I'm saying? But I'm going along with life. And all of a sudden, that box shows up at the house. I'm walking and I'm like, this box from, but that's for the family that's.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
Oh,
it's amazing.
That's us. We the people.
You see what's amazing about that? Is y'all were poor, and everybody in that community were. So we nobody have enough, but we all kind of. know in our area, everybody was like we were, where it was kind of it was masked. You couldn't really tell.
But did you feel like that though, or did you feel like it was just y'all?
Man, I thought everybody was. I didn't really know we were poor until one time I had my black eye just catch me. One time I had, you know how the school give you the candy to sell.
Oh man, I'm gonna bring me to my second story now. Go ahead.
He looked at me, his eyes watered and say, "Don't you do it."
Don't do it, silly.
Anyway, so we had, you know how the school get the kids the candy, which I don't know why they didn't. It was $1, and I had 8. Me and my brothers had 8 the candy. It came to about 12. And I remember telling my daddy, "Hey, my brothers ate the candy. It's gonna be $12." And the look, he looked like I told him that we had robbed a bank.
Oh wow!
Because to him we had. I mean, here it is. They were struggling, birds making it beat. And I said, "I need $12." Because I'm bragging, saying he probably gonna give me a 20. Let me keep the change.
Oh man,
he beat me to with
change them pants.
Inch of my life. He beat me to an inch of my life. I begged him, please just kill me. Please just kill me. Kill me. And I knew then, because the way the frustration and from what I'm feeling from, I'm saying, dude, whoa, we must be pretty bad, because he about 15 minutes in. Somebody called a law.
Right.
You try to kill me.
I mean, but when you think about it, a lot of the reactions that our parents had, that's why the reaction was so quick and so sharp, because they were already had the tension of life just sitting on their shoulders. And then here you go as a kid, you make it, you know what I'm saying? You know that that feather you drop and it just break down the whole. Oh man.
Brought the house
down. Brought the house down.
Yes.
Right. Mm-hmm. So, and we saying this just to say, there are people who have come from some bad situations, but I'm pretty sure, just guessing, things are probably a little bit better now. They're probably a little bit better now, but there's another level to aspire to that we gotta hit. A whole nother level that we gotta aspire to. Because now this was an old census. I'm pretty sure it's a lot worse now. They said it was like 2007, 2008. The Social Security Administration did a survey, and they said 5% of people, only 5% are financially wealthy or financially secure. So that leaves 95% of people. 95% of people are struggling. 95% of people in a bad situation. So you can just guess that that's probably the situation for a lot of people who, it may be you or somebody you know. Right? We put on a good face, we put on all this type of stuff to try to make it look good, but the truth of the matter is the situation is probably, or at least it looks worse than it,
Well, and I think what the issue may be more so than anything is most of us are doing well enough to where we let our hair down and we're a little bit more comfortable than we've been in a while. I know that's pretty much the case with myself for sure. We are in a good place to where we're comfortable. And oftentimes when you're comfortable, what it allows you to do is it allows you to kind of take a step back. You don't press as hard as you probably should, because you're trying to get to retirement. And that's simply why that's a lot of the reasons why we brought this stuff to you, because man, I believe most people are doing a lot better than they've done. We are. Yeah. I'm definitely guilty of that. We're doing a lot better than we've done, but we aren't doing as well as we could do, because retirement is looming.
Yes.
And there's nothing like retirement looming, and you're not ready for it. because what a lot of things that we're telling you may not seem like you need to be in dire straits, but again, retirement is 20 years off, and it'll be here tomorrow. Believe me.
Yeah.
Stopped at the QT. Get to go in there and grab a Coke and some chips, and it'll be at your door. Dude, it will be there before you know it. That's how life is.
Yeah, and probably one of the things that you want to start looking at is insurance.
Yes.
Insurance, because God forbid something happened to you and you leave the people behind in a worse situation. So, excuse me.
Oh,
you want to
let me stop. Excuse me, because I had my dad to pass, and they had to bring us all in the room. And I thought they was going to tell us about the stuff we was going to divide up.
Blessing.
And instead of dividing up, they said, "We gonna need another couple of $2,000-$3,000." And I just never forget thinking, wow, man, there's nothing like passing, and you leaving debt to people when you pass. And we got to figure out how we're gonna come up with the money.
Oh man, yeah.
You know and you don't want to do that to nobody, man.
Yeah.
You don't want. We can't leave you nothing. We can't leave our kids no inheritance. We're gonna leave them a bill. The least we can do is take care of our financial business while we're here, so we leave us not to burden to our kids.
Right.
That's the very least we can do.
Right. Or at the point when you pass away, they have something coming that will at least wipe out the debt that's left.
At least.
Right. Mm-hmm. So if you don't have life insurance or something, check into it, look into it. You definitely want to get some. Right. Cheryl says you can be comfortable and at the same time be content. The only time we can't be content is when we're falling behind. Right. So there has to be some sense of urgency. Jesse told us he was 2.5 years.
Yeah.
Because when they first sat down, it was a lot to do, but 2.5 years, they were out. They were completely out.
One bite at a time. One bite at a time.
Now 2.5 years is not long at all.
Not at all, man.
You know what I'm saying?
Not at all.
It seemed just like yesterday, COVID was locking us in the house.
Mm-hmm.
That's been 4 years.
Oh, wow.
It's 2024. That was in 2020. It's been 4 years already.
Wow, just think. If you were trying to get out of debt, come up with a financial plan, and that you'd be 4 years in.
You'd be 4 years in. Or maybe done.
Mm-hmm.
Or maybe done. If you one of them people that say you didn't go to school, didn't go to college, you might be in a better situation because them student loans, boy. And listen, they make it where you can't just get rid of them things, right? I know some people that had they government, and if you did, you don't know what a blessing.
They pull your pants up to you.
Starts out. You don't understand what a blessing, right? Another one of the excuses, right, is that hesitation to have that sit down with your spouse. What is it about that sit down that's so unnerving?
Because you got to be vulnerable.
You
got to admit what you know and what you don't know.
Right.
And oftentimes in relationships, we want to be the know-it-all, or we want to be the reference for whatever it is.
Mm-hmm.
Just saying I don't know. Because what I've noticed, my wife is really, really smart.
Mm-hmm.
She's looking for a reason. She's looking for me. When we're in conversation, if she feel like I'm going to say I don't know, she's like this. So she can pound.
Oh man.
So a lot of times, depending on what it is,
mm-hmm.
I'm very skeptical about saying what I don't know. Hey, I don't know. The finances are all out of control. My credit is terrible. And this is the thing. You get tired. Once you get tired of being sick and tired, you don't care. You don't care about those conversations because that's me. Once I get tired, listen. Once I throw my hands up, Okay, but we need to talk about this, but we need to do better. And Cheryl is really good about being the pulse for me. When I'm sick and tired, she's probably sick and tired too, because we going through this thing together. Yeah, because we're going through it together.
Yeah.
And oftentimes the misconception is you're going through it by yourself, and that's not true. When you're married, have a partner with somebody that's going through it with you, and you owe them to try to fix it.
But as a man, do you feel a larger responsibility?
I do, and that's simply because if everything fails, I'm gonna get the responsibility for it.
You're gonna get the blame. You're gonna get the blame. Mikhail says those sit-down conversations with your spouse can be difficult, especially if your spouse doesn't like to share what she has financially. What do you mean by what she has? You mean like the spending, or just I got some money, but you ain't getting it?
Yeah. Well, yeah, I'm gonna wait till
you're gonna wait to see what Mikhail has to say.
Because I think he might be saying you having an issue with your money, that's between you and God. You need to.
Okay. All right. So the transparency financially ain't necessarily there. He says, what I mean is that she has her own secret stash. Oh, wow. Or something of that nature.
Yeah.
Oh, so
I almost said something.
That parachute money.
I almost said something. Boy, wow.
That parachute money. So if I need to jump, I'm gonna float on down to where I can get you.
But I think, man, wouldn't it be safe to say within 5 years of the marriage, I think most women have parachute money. Most women are unsure.
Okay, so
wouldn't it be safe to say?
So what does that say? And Mikhail, I would love to know how, just honestly, if you want to share how you feel about that. What does that say about the relationship?
But it's not, as much as it's about the relationship, it's not really about the relationship. As much as it's about finding a way to become one, to where I can agree with it and she can agree with it. Because if she put money aside for the parachute, she still don't really trust the sanctity of marriage. And I think that's the bigger deal than anything. You're still not all in.
Oh yeah.
Because you can say you're all in with your mouth, but if your money's over in another account, you're not all in.
But as a man, do you even have the room or the right to complain? Or should you just suck it up and just say, well, it's on me to fix it?
I just think it needs to be talked about. Every marriage is different. I don't know what the parameters are. I don't want to say every man should be taking care of the family, because life is different now than it was 10, 15, 20 years ago. Like Jesse said, his dad came over. He had 6 brothers.
Yeah, there was 6 of them. Yeah. 6 boys, he said.
He said it was 6 of them. And his dad, his mom didn't work out the house.
Right.
Man, you rarely now find it. You don't hear people talking like that no more. And we can do that, but there has to be some sacrifice in order for us to live that way. I just think most women don't sacrifice like that.
But what's the issue if y'all in a hole? She has some money to help get you out of that, but she like,
well, she has some money to get you out of the hole,
or at least contribute to it.
Yeah. Again, I just think it depends on the conversation. We have to ask them to talk about it. I'm not sure what level and what, because if she's better with her money than you are with yours. Maybe she needs to be the authority.
Dr. Selena says, does she not trust the sanctity of marriage or that man?
Which is a really good question. And I was one that I can't answer. But I want to, I don't know.
I would have to say it's probably a little bit of both, probably more of that man. But a lot of women are taught to, kind of look after yourself in marriage, just in case he don't act right or he don't do right. And so they have, they have a stash. And I was saying, looking at the way things are, is it really wrong?
Well, okay.
I
Well, yeah.
just want to know, what do y'all think? Do y'all think it's wrong
Oh,
for a wife to have a stash when there's a financial issue?
He can't have no stash. Why he can't have a stash? You know why he can't have a stash? Well, he's spending it on her.
Miguel says, I believe both should have financial literacy. But as the leader of the household, the man should be able to make the final decision. But Miguel, I thought it was a partnership. Right? It's a partnership, right?
It is a partnership. It's supposed to be.
Okay. So shouldn't the wife share responsibility of making decisions too?
Yes, she should.
Okay. All right. I'm just wondering. I remember just talk about how bad things can get. I remember I was sitting outside of Walmart. I'm in the fire lane. I'm in the fire lane sitting outside of Walmart. And this couple comes out of Walmart. And the woman is giving him the business. Just digging off into him. And I'm looking at him, and his posture is he has his head down, his eyes are down, shoulders slumped over. So I know whatever is going on, he feels bad. He feels bad about whatever's going on, whatever happened. And I'm figuring it's probably got something to do with money because you in Walmart. So obviously you went to check out and what you thought you can have or something like that. And she's frustrated. She's mad and she's, like I say, just tearing into him. And I'm like, okay. I was like, pull up. I'm like, to myself, say, sister, pull up. All of a sudden, his demeanor completely shifts. And the shoulder slump, eyes looking down, looking low, all of a sudden that look hit his face like, this hatred and anger, and he proceeded to put hands on him right there in front of Walmart.
Wow.
No holds barred. People had to grab him.
He should have put hands on the person at the register. You ran that bread up. I'm saying, and I guess my thing is this. I just think it needs to be talked about. I think the problem is in a lot of relationships. I think people don't trust each other with finances and being honest with you like they should. And let me tell you something. There is no better way to find out who you with than to talk about finances. There is no better way. People say finances are the thing that run relationships. It's not finance. It's the people that's in the relationship and they feel in the pocket finance. That's what
the values.
Yeah,
that's really what it is. Miguel says, yes, he does have a right to make decisions. Okay.
Yeah, she got the decision of going there and make bucket and neck bone. I'm gonna go in here and watch Gunsmoke.
Cheryl says money conversation should be had prior to marriage. There should be a mutual agreement with the finances. Whoever is better at the finances should work it, but both parties should be involved in what's going on. My question is, if a bad decision is made, she makes that decision, does she carry the weight of that decision?
Well, I think she does, even if she doesn't. What I mean is, if we are Team Lewis and she is the CFO, she makes a bad decision. I think it weighs on all of us. Whether I wanted to wear on her like it does me, that's no, I don't want that. But I just want her to be. I want everybody to be conscious of what they're doing in the relationship because again we've seen Lewis and we're trying to make this corporation work.
Absolutely, absolutely. So you making a move, right? You make the decision to make the move. What's the most important thing? First step. What do you do?
Evaluate where you are and where the holes are. Let's figure out where the holes are. Let's figure out what we're doing. Let's sit down at the table, get the bills and everything, and figure out what the holes are and what we're doing. Let's get a plan of attack.
Plan of attack, right? I remember Lawrence Brown was talking about, sitting down, making a plan, and there's a down that said too. You want to start with a plan, and I don't think the plan has to be perfect up front. I think you just got to have some level of agreement up front. They say knowledge is power. That's not completely accurate. Applied knowledge is power. Because you can have information, but if you don't ever use it, then it's just like not having it. Right, it's just information. So you do what you know where you are, but then you seek out, other means. They say when you first put a budget together, say the budget probably ain't gonna work out like you thought it was at first, but that just means you go back, you revisit it, and you make the adjustments that you need to make. So you can, get that thing running properly.
I know what we used to do. What we would do, we would do a trial budget and do a trial and error of about a year, and we would come back and adjust the next year. About that third year, we understand what works and what don't work.
Mm-hmm.
Now we can go into the thing, that budget thing. Now we can get things accomplished. Because now we have a methodology.
Mm-hmm.
That this is how we stand. This is where we need to pull up some. This is where there's no compromise because you got to find your no compromise zone.
Right. So the first budget is probably based on your desire, what you want to happen. The second budget is going to be based on the behaviors.
Mm-hmm.
Because there's a lot of times we say what we want to happen, we don't pay attention to the behaviors that lead us to. Right, because we're looking for an outcome, but we can't control outcomes. We can only control our inputs, like what we do. You know what I'm saying? What's the input that leads to the output? That's the only thing you can control. So it's not about just focusing on it. Because I heard people say, somebody say, don't. I heard people don't make goals. Don't make goals based on what you want to happen. They say rather make goals based on, the inputs that you want to do.
Well, I don't know. I just feel like the plan or the goals is going to should take precedent, and they actually pull you in the direction that you want to go, or they should. They should pull your finances in the direction that you want to go. Because if I understand, because one thing Cheryl is good about, Cheryl will put that stuff together and she'll tell me, hey, this we got a budget, this is what we got to do. How much money can you spend? She won't go into details with me. How much money do you think you need to spend? Oh no. Do you need this much? Yes. Well, don't spend more than that. Okay. Next thing I know, that's her putting the budget together.
Okay.
I don't know. That's
right.
How much? Just tell me what you need to do, and I'll make the adjustment. And a year or 2 years later, we're buying a house. We're buying a house, and I'm still trying to figure out how we got there.
Okay.
Then she can go back and say, we did this, we did this, we did that, and by doing that, I did this. Now she can put that thing together, and as we're doing, I'm very agreeable because she is the
numbers person.
She the numbers person. Not only that, I have to submit to her authority over with that. I don't, because I'm the head. You got to let me know what's going on. No.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
I trust you. Hey, the Titanic is Lewis Titanic. It's not John Titanic. It's the Lewis Titanic. If you want this Lewis boat to float, So you have to.
I mean, you just say it because a lot of people don't understand what authority is. Authority is not telling people what to do. Authority is who has the knowledge, who has the understanding, who has the skills on a particular subject, right? So authority can shift. You could be good at one thing, and so you become an authority at that. You know, Jesse Townsend, he says, lack of trust. Lack of trust. Reginald Love says, putting yourself in debt can be just as dangerous as keeping a stash. Putting yourself in debt can be just as dangerous as keeping a stash. Jesse says, it normally takes about 4 to 5 months to see progress with a workable budget, right? Notice he said workable budget, not the wishful thinking budget, the workable budget. And I know one of the mistakes I made is I used the budget as a fix and not as a mode of operation. Because when you look at it, all businesses and everything, all of them have budgets, right? And the budgets say what you can and can't do for that year.
Yeah.
Right? They set yearly budgets. But I don't know if we take that concept and we bring it home to understand that, okay, I set a budget, and now that budget just kind of gives us how we're supposed to operate. Because the truth of the matter, if you do a budget, it'll pull you out of a hole. And once you get out of a hole and you think it was just for you to get you out the hole instead of it's the normal operation. It's a lifestyle. Then you will just abandon it and back in the hole again. And then too, like I said, having some goals, what's the goals of, along with the budget. So
and you have to have a plan. I think that's where it comes in. You have to have a plan for the house. What's the plan and the goal for the house? Like Jesse said, retirement is not an age; it's a number.
It's a number. How many people have sat down? How many of y'all have sat down and actually looked at how much money is required for you to retire?
See, I do it in my head.
You do it in your head.
Yeah. Right now, I know it ain't enough. I think right good in my head, it ain't enough.
So no, but that's a good point. Why is it important to put it down, to write it down?
So you can see it. So, because see, what I have noticed, when I put something down, everybody, it's not just for me, it's for everybody. I think Cheryl needs to see it as well. Cheryl needs to see it. So that way, now we can get a plan based on what the numbers are. She may see something and know something I don't know.
Okay. So, I don't know, do you think it's more emotional in your head until you write it down than when you can actually see it?
Well, see, I keep it in my head so I don't have to answer no questions. If you put it down on paper, there's going to be
accountability shows
up.
Accountability shows up.
Yes.
Right. We don't want to have to answer to nobody, basically, what you're saying.
Yeah.
Cheryl says some people think budget is a bad word. It's controlling your money rather than your money controlling you. And I think that's the perception that people get. They think the budget is controlling them, but you set the budget. It's a
well, yeah. But the most important thing about a budget is discipline. Most people don't like discipline coming into it. People want to do, because I used to tell myself, I have been told no so much when I was younger. Please don't know me that I'm wrong. As a matter of fact, I'm gonna eat my dessert first before I eat my dinner. I don't want nobody telling me what to do. And that's how most people are. What they finance, they don't want people telling them what to do.
Because being grown always represented I can do what I want to do. And that's to be perfectly true. Cindy says our financial planner meeting with us periodically takes all the guesswork out as it relates to where we were and where we are today, even in retirement. So the financial planner, we mentioned that with Lawrence and Cindy's talking about it now. So how many people are looking at possibly sitting down with a financial planner? Right? You got a third party who's you got to be ready for it. What's the hesitation with a financial planner?
It's not really hesitation, man. If I could be as honest as I can, it is so embarrassing to not be further along, because they'd be like, and I know this because I just had one to call me. They're like, hey, okay, so What you got? You got this, you got that, you got how much you got in retirement, how much you got in 401k, how much you got in this, how much you got in that. So do we need to do that? When we set this up, I'm like,
Is it all the questions?
it's not the questions, it's the answers to the questions that I have,
Oh,
that I don't
yeah.
want to tell them that I have.
Yeah.
Or lack of having. Well, how much you got in your 401k? Oh, I got about. Okay. Well, how much you got in your IRAs? How much you got in these? I need to talk to Shirley. Can I get a lifeline?
He said, "You phone a friend."
It's as honest as I can be, it's embarrassing when you hadn't done what you're supposed to do, and you're in front of that person and looking at you and saying, "Man, you got gray on your face, and you hadn't done some of the simple things that you need to be doing in order to get retirement." Because retirement is closer than it is far.
What's more embarrassing, that conversation, or you sitting at the door at Walmart and people that you know come walking in, and you know they good?
Oh, it's definitely the.
Because the conversation is a little more private, right?
Yes, but some things, sometimes with most conversations like that, you don't have to have it's been had. When I see you in Walmart, you doing that, I know the conversation has been bad. I know the conversation has been had. Whether we say anything about it or not, I know you have done what you're supposed to do.
But it's the conversation that happened in your head. You ain't saying nothing to nobody. You ain't talking to nobody. They may not even thinking about you, but you gonna be thinking that, oh man, they saw me.
You think so?
You know what I'm saying? You see somebody, you head to the break room.
I'm in my head a lot. Hey, boss, gotta take a break, boss. Bathroom break, boss.
And so it's about what's the prevention measure? What's the methods of prevention to make sure that doesn't happen? Because that's a real reality, possible.
As I'm thinking, I would if someone was asking me, I would say, listen, find a financial planner and do whatever little bit you can do.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you start doing a little bit, eventually you need to do a lot more. But you just start doing whatever little bit.
Yeah, I remember Jesse talking about that, the importance of just getting some traction up front. He sold his Q45. His Infiniti Q45. He sold his Infiniti Q45 to get some traction with finances. Could you? Cut. Cheryl said, just start. Just start. And I think that's probably the most important message, right? Just start. So what about resources? What are some, books? Lawrence suggested a couple of books.
Yeah, the Richest Man in Babylon.
Richest Man in Babylon. And there's another book. I've been seeing it on TikTok. It says, I Can Teach You to Be Rich. It's the name of the book. I think it's I Can Teach You to Be Rich.
Really?
And
write them down. Write them
down.
down.
I was talking to my nephew. He said he has, and he said the guy really gives you some really good practical information and really explains a lot of financial terms and stuff that a lot of people don't understand commonly. Mm-hmm. So he goes in some detail, and he says very simple read. It's not overwhelming, but he really lays things out for you. So any other books? I know Jesse mentioned Financial Peace Program. Dave Ramsey mentioned Dave Ramsey. Total Money Makeover is Dave Ramsey's program. And
Atomic Thoughts.
Atomic Habits.
Atomic Habits.
Now, why would Atomic Habits be a good important book for financial?
Oh, because it helps tweak some of the bad habits.
Some of the habits, right. You are what you habitually do.
Oh,
that's from Stephen Covey. He says you are what you habitually do. So you can say you one thing, but then somebody see you, and no, that's who you are. right? So you gotta pay attention to your habits. There's another good book, The Compound Effect by Darren Hardy, I think his name is, and he talks about just tracking your spending, tracking your eating, anything that you want to change, track it.
That story.
Go ahead.
I was reading, was it a book? See, I've read so much stuff now I can't remember where I got it.
Okay.
But I got some information about the Rockefellers. They don't give their kids money; they lend them money. And before they lend them money, one of the stipulations is they have to write down everything that they're doing. They have to be able to go back and every dime, write down every dime, because they say it gets you in the habit of seeing what you're doing with the money, so you can change some of the bad habits that you got.
Oh wow.
Yeah. They don't give them anything; they loan them.
Okay. Man, you talking about different? You your own bank? You got your own family bank? You ain't gotta go to no private institution.
But they teach them good habits too.
Man,
they teach them really good habits too.
Yeah. Hard, I guess we down to final thoughts. I'll say my thoughts there.
All right, final thoughts. Well, my final thought for this evening is we all have a choice. The financial aspect is just another way of us being the best version of ourselves financially. We often concentrate on the intellect part of it, being a better person, being happier, achieving goals, and doing things like that. Man, the financial aspect of it is really important. And I implore you today, just do a little bit. Just start something. Just start that savings account. Save some money. Oh, save some money. When I tell you, I just wish somebody had told me to save some money. I have been working since I was 16 years old. I ain't saved a red dime. You hear me? If they gave me $1 million for every dollar that I had saved, I would not have gas money today. You hear me? And nobody never told me, and I'm telling you guys, start saving money as soon as you start working. Pay yourself, and then put something in the savings account. And that's my final thought.
It's easy to kind of focus on all the stuff that you didn't learn, but that's not stopping you from learning it now. And I think with the habits thing, that's a whole different ballgame, because you've had a long time to become who you are, and you're talking about making a shift now. We can't believe that you always say you can't teach an old dog new tricks. We're not dogs. We're not dogs. As long as we have breath in our body, we can learn, we can grow, and we can change. It just takes a little bit more time, but it's more intention than time, because as time goes on, it's about how do you use that time. If you very lax about it, it's going to take a little bit longer. But if you intense about it, it can move a little faster, and you'll be amazed at how fast it speeds up. Right? The same way it seems like the years are speeding up, it can speed up for you as well, as far as changing these habits and getting and adopting the good habits that you need, so that life is different. The rest of your life is different. If you don't get but 10 good years, at least make them good. And that starts with decisions that we make. So let's pay attention to the decision that we're making. Married, pay attention to the decision both of y'all making, and get together and make some decisions together, right? The devil divides us, and keeping us divided is part of that battle. So do the work, change the situation. You thank yourself for it. And that's my final thoughts.
Wow, man. Wow. Now we got to be responsible now.
Oh, man. Cyril says, personally, I've learned a lot about budgeting and cash envelopes from YouTube. Seeing someone else's strategies helped me get a better understanding. Yeah, YouTube is a great resource for pretty much anything, right? They call it YouTube University. So just type in some questions and go ahead and check it out. But by all means, let's look up something.
Like, share, and subscribe, though.
Yes.
Like, share, and subscribe to the podcast. Please Hey, listen, we got the best podcast in the world. So you need to tell somebody about this. Like, share, and subscribe. And for our TikTok fans and followers, follow us and like us on TikTok. Because we want to start going there as well. And we don't just want 1,000 subscriptions. We want 1 million. Say it with me, y'all. 1 million.
And you know, if you just subscribe or not, just go ahead and just go ahead and click the subscription button, right? And we want to thank Mr. Lawrence Brown, Mr. Jesse Townsend. Thank you for coming on and being our guest and leaving our listeners with something that they can use, something that was valuable. And I know the information you shared has blessed people. We've heard some things from people where, you know, people enjoyed what you all shared. So we want to thank you all. Thank you guys for coming on and being a part of what we're doing, right? Cindy says, great show, very informative. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Listen, we appreciate you always trying to just bring you stuff that can help. So come back next week. We'll have something else good for you. Holla at you. Peace out.
Be blessed.